Hi, happy Wednesday, everybody, and welcome to yet another edition of Time on Overtime on the Time on Overtime YouTube channel. I'm your host, Rick Arsenault. You know the drill by now. If you haven't done so yet, please, and you're watching live, get down there in the corner, smash that like and subscribe button. Thank you very much. You don't know how much I appreciate your watching and listening. Let's get right with it here. College basketball. Michigan State Spartans on Friday night at 8 o'clock on the Fox Major Network have a nationally televised game in Madison to play the Wisconsin Badgers. It's a big game for them coming off a big win over Illinois. An overtime win over Illinois last Saturday night. On the other hand, the Michigan Wolverines have a game tonight in first place in the Big Ten at 12-1. Have a game tonight in Evanston, Illinois, to take on the Northwestern Wildcats. They will then play again Saturday at 12:30 at Chrysler Arena when they take on the UCLA Bruins. And that game will be, like I said, I believe it's a 12:30 or 12:45 start. It will be televised nationally on CBS, I believe. I think that's correct. If you didn't hear, the only undefeated team left in Division I college basketball were the Arizona Wildcats, and they lost a couple of nights ago to Kansas. I don't think anybody's naive or gullible enough to believe that any major Division I team is going to go through the season undefeated. That's simply going to happen. Okay. Who's the best team in the nation right now? That doesn't really matter. The Associated Press, for many years, has been doing a weekly top 25. Before that, it was UPI, United Press International. They no longer exist. That's back when the days when you didn't get your news off a computer, you got it off a teletype, a ticker. Boy, I guess I'm aging myself. That's the way news used to come in. But they were loud, it was noisy, it was a machine, fairly good sized, big, bulky machine, and the news would come in on a ticker, tick, 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 loud, noisy, tear the sheet off of there. That was your news. Your news came off of that. Now they just read it off a computer. The age of high tech, huh? Well, anyway, where was I? I got sidetracked here. Associated Press basketball rankings. It comes out every Monday, and we'll see if Michigan wins tonight at Northwestern. They're heavily favored. Now, UCLA will bring a 9-4 conference record in, I think, 9-4. So they're a fairly decent team, but Michigan will probably be favored in that game too, but doesn't necessarily guarantee you. If Michigan can win both their games this week, they will more than likely be, according to Associated Press anyway, be the number one team in the nation come Monday. But that means nothing, really. It means nothing. We've got so much to go yet. Michigan has to play Purdue. They've got to play Illinois. They've got another game with Michigan State left yet. Are they going to go through the rest of the season with just the one loss? I doubt it. I seriously do. So somewhere along the line, they're going to get knocked off again, at least once here anyway. Doesn't mean they're not a good team. Okay. Let's get our sponsors out of the way here, shall we? Finish Line Family Restaurant has been a part of our community, the Hillsdale County area now, for the better part of 4 decades, more than 40 years. I can't imagine on Carlton Road in Hillsdale, across the street from, everybody knows where the Finish Line restaurant is. You don't have to give addresses or anything else. They know how to get there. They know where it is. And I can't imagine this area without them. They've been a real staple in our community now for many years. And there's a reason for it. By far, it's not even close. It's the best sit-down restaurant in our area. Not close. And for me, this is more than just an ad or a commercial. It's a testimonial. I've probably been there more than anybody. And there's a reason for it. The food is great. The service is great. It's great family atmosphere. Award-winning breakfast served all day. The hours of operation, of course, 6 a.m. to 3 p.m., open till 8 on Friday. Award-winning breakfast served all day. A lot of new menu items, and they keep adding new menu items, and it's all good. It's great food, great comfort food. You won't find any better food anywhere. Mom's home cooking, what it is. Like I said, award-winning breakfast served all day. A lot of new menu items. I've tried them all. They're great. They still have the all-you-can-eat fish every Friday night. A lot of people take advantage of that, especially this time of year with Lent coming on. Fast, friendly service. Like I said, great family atmosphere. It's simply the best. Best in our area in sit-down restaurants. And I can guarantee you, when you fuel up with food and service at the Finish Line family restaurant, you'll always finish first. I guarantee you that. I better see you there. Okay? All right. We're also brought to you in part by Barrett Insurance. Got your playbook ready for Medicare, folks? Do you? Don't let healthcare costs bench you. We're calling an audible with Joe Rudin at Barrett Insurance to help you navigate Medicare and health insurance. Whether you're aging into Medicare, you're in a special enrollment period, or you're losing other coverage, Joe's got the stats and the know-how to help you score the best coverage for your needs. Plus, get a game plan for retirement healthcare costs. What about businesses? Don't get sacked. Joe's got a group health coverage option for you too. You can give Joe a call at 517-849-1000 or check it out at www.barrettins.com. You can find them on the corner of US 12 and M99 in Jonesville. That's Joe Rudin Insurance, protecting your dreams. 517-849-1000. Barrett Insurance, protecting your dreams. BarrettINS.com. Joe, if you're watching, this is great copy. Thank you very much, Joe. And I think you missed your calling. You should have been a writer. You really should have been. Good work, Joe. Thank you. Okay. Where are we now? You get back at it here. Baseball. Let's save that for last. Okay. Since we were last here on Monday, the Lions have announced they have a new coach. Yes, the one and only Dan Skipper is back with the title of Assistant Offensive Line Coach, as Dan Skipper's playing days are over, and he has now ventured into coaching. I'm sure he'll do a fine job. Will he eventually one day be the Lions? Will he replace Hank Fraley as the offensive line coach? Who knows? But he'll just be happy to see Dan at Allen Park and have him back around. Lovable. 6'9", one of the tallest players ever in the National Football League. But it's nice to know that Dan Skipper's coming back in a coaching role, again, as the assistant offensive line coach for the Lions. That's good news. Great news. Next thing for the Lions, I suppose, is preparing for the combine in Indianapolis at Lucas Oil Stadium the last few days of this month and the first few days of March. The closer we get to that, I think the more we'll be talking about it. But that's obviously the next time Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell will be speaking or having a press conference will be down there. And so we look forward to that. As I said before, after the combine, you've got free agency. When does that begin? Maybe around March 9th or March 10th. And then, of course, you've got the NFL draft the last weekend in April. And then you've got rookie camps and mini camps and OTAs through May and June. And then July, teams are back in training camp. So, of course, the schedule, too, comes out a couple of weeks after the draft. And that's always a big event. We know who the Lions are playing. We just don't know when and where. And this coming season, that we do know that they have 9 home games. and 8 road games, and one of those 9 road game. One of those 9 home games. One of those 9 home games will be in Munich, Germany. We just don't know who they're playing yet. We do know the Rams will be playing the 49ers in Melbourne, Australia. Really? What, a 21, 22-hour flight? Maybe not from the West Coast. I don't know which way they're going there, but what it's going to cost to produce that game in Australia, and they're on the other side of the world. When are they going to play that game? Well, yeah, I'm sure they've got that all figured out, or they wouldn't be doing it. But we'll know once the schedule comes out. But Lions will be playing in Munich this year. That we do know. Hockey, of course, the Red Wings right now, like every other NHL team, are participating, not just the Red Wings, but like I said, the other NHL teams in the Winter Olympics for their respective countries. Dylan Larkin for Team USA, Mo Seider for Germany, and Lucas Raymond for Sweden. Ladies hockey has already started. Have you been watching any of those games yet or not? U.S. ladies hockey team is pretty good. They've got a pretty good team. So, basketball. The suspensions were handed out today for the 4 players involved in the brawl the other night in Charlotte. Miles Bridges and Dubiante both get 4 games. I think they both instigated what happened with the Pistons. If Dubiante doesn't headbutt Jalen Duren, Duren doesn't take a swipe at him. And if Miles Bridges doesn't go after Jalen Duren, Beef Stew doesn't leave the bench, okay? But they did, and it happened. Those 2 get 4 games apiece. Jalen Duren gets 2. And Isaiah Stewart gets 7 games. 7 games. Looking at the schedule then, that means if we can get this up here, Pistons are in Toronto tonight, by the way, to take on the Raptors, the last game before the All-Star weekend festivities in L.A. Pistons come in 39-13. The Raptors 32-22, 8 games behind the Pistons. So Jalen Duren, then, if we look at the schedule, will miss the game next Thursday night, a week from tomorrow, in New York against the Knicks. He will miss the February 21st game in Chicago against the Bulls. He'll be back here. He'll be back again. He will be back on Monday, the 23rd, when the Pistons take on the Spurs. Okay. It's going to be quite a bit longer than that. It will be March the 3rd before we see Isaiah Stewart again in Cleveland. As I said, he's facing a 7-game suspension. I'm just glad it's 7, not any more than that. My fear would be 10 games or more, because Beef Stew has a rap sheet. Yeah, he's had several altercations and been suspended before for what he's done. And I thought maybe because he had a rap sheet and certainly was not a first offender that Adam Silver would come down hard on him. I think it was fair. Las Vegas over-under for his suspension was 10.5 games. They came in under that. So glad to see it. Anyway, Pistons tonight, their first meeting of the year with the Toronto Raptors. Raptors have a good team, and it would not surprise me at all, especially without Duren and Beef Stew, a couple of their big men, to see them lose this game tonight in Toronto. See what happens. Pistons indeed have a deep bench. And by the way, before I forget, I might have to put baseball off here until Friday, because I've gotten into so much. But Trajan Langdon, the Pistons president of basketball operations, spoke this morning on the flagship with John Jansen and Jim Costa. Costa asked him about the playoffs and how far he thought this team could go, et cetera, et cetera. And I thought Langdon gave an interesting answer. He said, look, this team is still young and inexperienced when it comes to the playoffs. They lost their series last spring to the Knicks. They lost all 3 games at home. In his words, hey, this team has a long way to go. Playoffs are a completely different animal, and this team has yet to win a playoff game at home. Temper your enthusiasm right now, because once we get into the playoffs, I think what he was trying to say is this team is getting into uncharted waters, and they don't have a lot of playoff experience. And as he said, I think he's right, that this team has never won a playoff game at home. Okay, so the playoffs are a completely different season than the regular season. I think that's all he was trying to say. And I know, given the success that they've had in the regular season, it's quick to say that they've got a good shot at getting to the NBA Finals. But well, that's some June, early June is a long way from early to mid-February. That's 3 months away yet. Okay. That's a long time. And all Trajan Langdon was saying was temper your enthusiasm. Okay. Before we get into the Tigers, I'm going to run it too long. Let me get out of here just a second here. Quality PC, downtown Hillsdale, 37 Walswood Street, 517-610-5372. The only place in our area to go for tech services. There's no other place to go. This is the place to go. Computers never used, flat screen TV mounting programming setup. Maybe you're choosing another provider. You need that installed. Printers never used, anything at all. Get in there and see Tim Lindley or one of his staff. They're more than capable of resolving any technical issues that you may have. Okay. 37 Walter Street, downtown Hillsdale, 517-610-5372. Or better yet, get in there and see them at 37 Walter Street. Tell them Rick and Mickey sent you. Pardon me. Thank you very much. Framber Valdez held his first press conference as a Tiger today, speaking through his interpreter, Ulysses Cabrera. You might as well get that out because that's his interpreter. Doesn't speak a lot of English. So his interpreter's name is Ulysses Cabrera. And he said all the right things. And he was so elated that just before they started speaking, in walked his mound mates, if you will, Skubal and Verlander and Flaherty and Mize. And apparently he was very impressed by that. And he couldn't be happier to be here. I don't have a lot of time to go into what else he said through his interpreter, but everything went well. By the way, Justin Verlander, as you saw, welcome home, Justin. Get those number 35 Tiger jerseys out of mothballs. He's back. I think when you look at what he did the second half of last year, first half he was dealing with an injury, pectoral strain. The second half he was very effective. In fact, in his last 7 starts last year, he had an ERA. No, I'm sorry, his last 8 starts, he had an ERA of 2.6. And in all but one of those starts, it was either 1 or no runs. He was very effective. He was maxing out at what? 96, 97, 98 mile an hour. Curveball was sharp. He looked like the JV of old. So if he could carry that over, that'd be great. And this rotation, are the Tigers all in now? Does this mean they're all in? I think they are. And I think at the trade deadline, I think you'll see them go on and do something at the trade deadline to beef up the offense. They're all in this year. Justin Verlander will come in with 266 career wins, 34 away from the magic 300, which is when pitcher gets there, he's punched his ticket to Cooperstown, right? He doesn't have to worry about that. Justin Verlander will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I think if it were not for next year's lockout, I think he would have a reasonable shot at 300. He's 42 years old now. 266 career wins. If they were playing the next 3 years, that means he'd have to average 11 wins the next 3 years to get to 300. I'm sure he'd like to I'm sure he'd like to do that because if he would certainly be the last pitcher to win 300 games. You'll never see that again. He's the only one with a reasonable shot at it. But since there will be a lockout next year, I know unless he wants to pitch until he's 45 or 46 years old. Nolan Ryan went till he was 45, I think. I don't know. I don't know if they'd be asking. But remember this too. He's coming in on a 1-year contract, $13 million contract. It's deferred money. $2 million this year, and the other $11 million to be paid in 2030. Depending on what happens this year, it's tough because after this year, the collective bargaining agreement will expire at 12:01 on December the 1st. The padlock goes on after that. That's all I can tell you. Okay. I don't see this thing getting resolved. There may not be any baseball at all next year. If there is, they'll start up in July or August. Okay. Looking at the schedule too, one last thing quickly. The Tigers will break camp on March 21st after the game of the Yankees in Lakeland. They'll fly to Denver to play 2 exhibition games on the 22nd and the 23rd and the 24th, 23rd and 24th of March. They'll play 2 exhibition games in Denver against the Rockies. March 25th, they'll have a workout at Petco Park in San Diego, and then the season starts March the 26th against the Padres. They've got 3 games in San Diego. They have an off day, 3 more games in Phoenix against the Diamondbacks, a travel day to get back here and play opening day on April the 5th. I think that's a Friday or Thursday. I have to look at the calendar again. That's Easter weekend. Okay. Easter night, which I think is that April the 5th? I think it is Easter night. The Tigers will be featured on Sunday Night Baseball on the NBC Sunday Night Baseball game against the St. Louis Cardinals. But the feeling is now that if the Tigers' first 3 starters in San Diego are Skubal, Verlander, and Valdez, pretty much means when they open April the 5th at Comerica against the Cardinals, Justin Verlander will start that game. And you can bet that A.J. Hinch and his pitching coach, Chris Fenner, are trying to set it up that way. It's going to have JV back. It really is. Quick story. One of the players who needs to have a good spring because he's not guaranteed making the open day roster is Parker Meadows. He was in the locker room yesterday, arranging his locker, putting things into his locker, and who walks through the locker room but Justin Verlander. Meadows took a double take. He looked at the clubhouse guy and he, what the heck is he doing here? And the clubhouse guy says, well, we just signed him. He was shocked. I guess he was shocked. But he's got to have a good spring with a bat because he's not right now. I'm telling you, he doesn't have any guarantee that he's going to make this opening day roster. He could very well start the season at Toledo. Okay. All right. I've talked enough for now. I'll talk to you all again on Friday. Don't forget Saturday morning, here locally from 9 to 10. Time out with Andy and Jed, WCSR 92.1 FM. And I'll see you and talk to you all again on Friday. So until Friday, take care. I can't thank you enough for watching and listening. Remember to please treat each other with respect. Until Friday, I'll simply say thanks, everybody. Have a good evening. Bye-bye now. Thank you.